Ohio, Florida, North Carolina. Yes, those are the names of my new ferrets. And look at them. They're adorable.
Stinky.
There are also some of the key battleground states deciding the election. I didn't know that. In Florida, the race is like the confused drifter in my car, all tied up. We're close. In Ohio, where there's 18 electoral votes, Trump holds a small lead. And the most crucial state for Clinton could be North Carolina, where Romney narrowly beat Obama in 2012. Said the president on Wednesday, if Hillary wins North Carolina, she wins. That is poetic. Still, the one key state no one seems to be talking about, New Kansas. There it is. As you know, it's I think we call it the Call Me State.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's home to most cat owners per capita, and they breed them like cattle for nourishment. It's disgusting. Its main exports are housecoats, flatulence, and sadness. In other words, don't count out New Kansas voters. It's going to be very exciting. All right, Chris, you majored in stuff that bores people, i.e. polls, but you're the experts. Which of the swing states do you think Trump might take?
Well, it depends on how we define swing states.
Oh, here we go. I hate it when they start with "it depends." That means they don't get to the answer. All right, let's try this again. Which of the swing states is Trump most likely to take?
All right. So if you're Donald Trump, you would say Michigan's a swing state.
Yes.
And you'd say Pennsylvania's a swing state.
Right.
Now the polls would say they aren't.
Okay.
Now Trump used to say New York and California and Washington State were swing states.
Yes.
And they weren't. That didn't work out. So an easy way to look at it is that in the eastern United States,
right,
there are 4 states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida, that Trump needs to win 3 of.
Okay.
If he doesn't win 3 of those 4, he can't win.
Okay.
And his problem right now is he is considerably behind in Pennsylvania. He is not far behind, but consistently behind in North Carolina. Now, he's good in Ohio.
Yeah.
There's only been, and would you like a nerd fact to bore you hideously?
Yes.
Nerd fact to bore you hideously is that there's only ever been one Republican that won Ohio and didn't win the presidency. That was Richard Nixon in 1960, and they did happen to steal that election from him in Chicago.
Rigged. That is a nerd fact.
Rigged exclamation point. So basically, Trump is going to win Ohio, or he's set right to win Ohio. His situation in Florida is as dead even as it could possibly be. He is behind in Pennsylvania, and North Carolina he's behind. So he needs a fix. He needs things to get better.
You know what I said about Florida? I said it's like a Siamese giraffe, neck and neck.
I would say that you were better than that, but I know that you are not.
It was a terrible joke.
That was terrible.
Charlie, but as long as I can make Charles smile, that's all that matters.
It's not hard to do.
It looks like New Kansas may be going for Hillary, but I'll get to that later. What are your thoughts on the swing states? Do you have any insights? I know it's hard to be like Chris, but you had a social life.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, this is one of the things that I think a lot of people love about that I love about Donald Trump. We've had this map for 20 years, and it's been the exact same map, and it's immovable, and it's all a gradual digression until death for the Republican Party and for the Democratic Party to take over forever. World domination.
Yes.
And finally, and yeah, I get it. Texas is now a swing state, whatever. But at least he's blowing the map up, and that's a very appealing thing.
Yeah, it's
and
changing.
I mean, if he loses like all these states, I don't care. At least he's changing the map, and that's a good thing.
It reminds me when I used to play Candyland, and I was losing, and I would just turn it over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just 2 years ago.
It's Scrabble. You can't think of the word, you throw the whole thing over.
Yeah, exactly.
That speaks for a lot of people.
It does speak. It does, and it speaks for me.
And it makes Chris mad.
It does, and it should. Gillian, do you feel bad about the states where it doesn't matter? Like states where you just know that your vote doesn't matter?
Like New York.
Yeah, New York.
Washington, D.C.
If you vote for Hillary, you're spitting in Niagara Falls. If you vote for Trump, you're peeing in it.
I mean, it's a little bit.
It's heavy.
I mean, I grew up in New York, so I'm used to that. It doesn't really bother me.
No.
And now I live in Washington, D.C., which is.
Why is he going to
a nothing
Colorado
burger.
Anyway? Why do you think he's
Ganja.
Ganja.
It's also it's really nice there in the fall.
It is. Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
Colorado a
Aspen
lot.
trees are gorgeous.
But so here's my question for Chris or for you, if you want to answer.
It's not for me.
Probably
Let's
for
face
me.
it.
What about much ado was made in the last election cycle about like the disparity between city voters, you know, like urban voters and rural voters. How is that breaking down like in this so far?
Do a mental picture and picture 100 pinpoints dropped across the country on the 100 largest cities in America.
I am.
And the farther you are away from any of those pinpoints, the more Republican you are. So if you go into the deepest recesses of Montana or Wyoming, the farthest away from one of the 100 largest cities, the more Republican you are. The closer you get to one of those cities, the more Democratic you are. Why is every election decided in the suburbs? Because that's where the country meets the city. That is the point of conflict. And so the country mice like me and the people where I'm from are Republican. The city mice like you, where you're from and where you grew up, are Democratic. And then when we get to the suburbs...
You just stereotype people for a living.
I do. All the daggone time. And you know what is great? We are almost always right.
Kat, you know, right now we're seeing live footage of a podium. I haven't got any of the latest...
Wait, you don't see the guy there?
No, oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again. You mean there's somebody there? Look, last word to you. Thoughts on anything other than what Chris just said? I'm trying to stay awake.
It just doesn't matter, though. Like,
you
whatever
can't say
the
it doesn't
polls,
matter.
whatever the polls say. Whatever the polls say,
it doesn't matter.
Or whatever they don't. There's 5 days, and we're gonna move on to phase 2 of being upset about whatever happened. Either way, I don't think it's possible to always tell. I don't think it is possible to always tell. Everything that's been known in the past has not worked out for this election so far.
True.
So I don't believe anything. That's what when I say it doesn't matter. I mean, nothing that we know from the past really matters now, because look at Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Do you remember when it was funny? Remember he gave a speech, we were laughing, we were clapping, and it was great. Reality TV, that's it. Like, reality TV is really funny because you're like, oh, I can't believe that's real life. But then it's like, whoa, I can't believe that is real life. That pageant mom really does do that for a living. And
we gotta move on. But to quote Freddie Mercury, nothing really matters.
Apparently so.
To me. Coming up, a story so hot, you'll think it's my twin brother. What will a Trump presidency look like? How about a Clinton one? How about we just go back to bed and wake up in 2020?